What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking on the brand new Clash Caesar, and this is the brand new raid boss that has arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. He is a 30 and a 40 stamina dungeon, and this specific character will be a trusty character in the upcoming treasure map versus Saba in the middle of July. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down each of the stages as we play through the dungeon, and you guys can just get all the information that you guys need in order to take on this dungeon. Now, the team that we are going to be using is more of a speed-based team. This is a team that you should be using if you want to farm this as quick as possible. After we actually run through this dungeon, we'll go through what the unit does so you guys can kind of decide for yourself how hard you want to farm for this unit. But honestly, if you're more of a free-to-play player and you don't have a lot of these rare recruit units, this unit's going to be very, very useful for your crew. So let's go ahead and go through it. So we're using a double Hody team. We've got Fujitora for an orb boost. We've got Neko for one specific stage of this dungeon. Not for the final stage, but he's really nice for one of the earlier stages. Fukaboshi is very replaceable on this team. You can just run any other type booster that you need. And then you've got the Wild Luffy. Now, Wild Luffy is one of the more irreplaceable units on this crew because he is a special bind remover and he removes 3 turns of special bind. Now, the other unit that you could use instead of this Luffy, if you have it, is going to be Vinsmoke Reiju. You can use that instead of this unit on a Hody team, and that will work just as fine. So either this Luffy or Vinsmoke Reiju, and you'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and run through this. There is a condition for this specific raid boss, and it states that you will lose HP at the end of each turn with the map effect or environmental damage, which isn't too bad considering this is a very, very easy raid boss. So moving on to stage number 1 of this dungeon, very, very simple, but we have a little bit of a preemptive attack here where our crew will actually get recovery down for a substantial amount of time, 99 plus turns, so you're not really going to be healing that much from recovery orbs. However, with this specific team, we're just going to be using our specials to just run through this as quick as we possibly can. Obviously, Double Hody Jones is one of the most fast, or like literally the fastest captain to run content with just because of so much cooldown reduction and a really high base attack boost. He's so goddamn good. Stage number 2, we've got another preemptive attack here. This Penguin will go ahead and give himself a defense boost. So this defense boost is actually pretty significant. We're going to use another Hody special just to do a little bit of wave clear. This is where most teams are going to be doing a predominant amount of their stalling on these units here that have really, really high cooldowns, namely on the Penguin and on the Lobster and the Turtle and stuff like that. But for this specific run through, we're just going to be trying to get through it as quick as we possibly can and make sure that we don't take any damage along the way as well. Now, as I mentioned, Fukaboshi is extremely replaceable on this specific team. The only reason he's here is he provides a tight boost and he's a yellow unit, so if we do need to get more side damage, then that's the reason why that he's here. But yeah, definitely very, very replaceable. Stage 3, we've got just the standard room here along with a regular seahorse. If you let the seahorse attack you, he will bind a unit on your crew for an extended period of time, so make sure to take down that seahorse on turn 1, otherwise it's going to be very, very bad for your crew. And now we move on to stage 4. Now stage 4 is going to be interesting because it actually has a dragon, and this dragon has 180,000 HP. And also there is some preemptive attacks that we get some bomb orbs, and those orbs are actually going to be locked for 1 turn. So making sure you have a unit that can actually change these orbs around is going to make it a lot easier to take this dungeon down, because the fact that this specific stage has an actual delay protector means we can use Colosseum Neko Mamashi, who will go ahead and change all of our orbs into positive, as well as giving our powerhouse and strikers a 1.75 attack boost. And because our orbs are locked, we get a full board of matching orbs ready to take in to the final room. And because of this type boost, we're going to be doing a lot of damage here on this final room, and Neko special alone will be able to kill one of the surrounding mob characters, and you can see there's a lot of damage is done there. So definitely bringing a unit to change those bombs into matching is going to be very, very nice. As you know, as I said, having these orbs on the final room is pretty nice. Now we are on the final stage of Caesar. Now, as you saw there with the preemptive attack, that we actually got special binded for 3 turns. There is also a debuff protector for 99 turns. This is a full debuff protector. You cannot reduce his defense, you can't poison him, you can't do anything to him. And he also has a 10-hit combo barrier, so perhaps bringing someone like Blackbeard or someone that can do damage through barriers could help you along the way here, but it is only a 10-hit combo barrier, so it's really not that much. Caesar himself only has 1.75 million HP, so he doesn't really have that much HP. The mob characters around him are also very, very weak, very similar to the mobs that we beat along the way to get to this final stage here. So we're going to be using our Wild Luffy here to get rid of all the special bind on our characters, meaning now we can go ahead and use our raid Raid Boss Fuji, who not only gives us an orb boost, but does a lot of damage AoE and will kill the mob characters surrounding Caesar. We can go ahead and use our type booster, the very replaceable unit here, and then we can go ahead and deal as much damage as we possibly can and win in a single turn. Now, obviously, without me talking, this team can clear it in definitely under 2 minutes. A very, very fast team, and the team that I used in order to max out Raid Caesar today on stream. So yeah, this team is extremely good, but you know, we just went through that. As long as you do have at least a 3-turn special bind reducer and you can kill Caesar in 1 turn, that's great, because if you don't kill him in 1 turn, you get attacked down on your crew, and it's just really, really bad. You just want to try and kill him as soon as you possibly can. So now I've gone through the actual dungeon, let's go ahead through the brand new unit, which is Clash Caesar. So here is the brand new Clash unit, Caesar Clown, Master Caesar, Lord of Gas. This unit is an int, cerebral driven character. You can see his stats there. This is with max limit break and max level, so you have to take that into consideration as well. His stats are a little bit lower when you do not max limit break him. However, I would highly suggest you max limit break him before you start feeding copies of himself, because when you do limit break him, he gains an additional socket spot, meaning that when you start feeding copies, you can start socketing your character a lot easier, so that when you know, limit break him down the line, you're going to have to max out another socket. So it's better to just do it from the get-go, limit break him, and then start feeding copies. So he has some pretty nice stats. 1554 attack is actually pretty good for a free-to-play unit. Pretty decent amount of recovery. His health is a little bit low, but let's go through his captain ability. It's a very, very simple captain ability. A 2.5 attack captain to cerebral and driven classes. So not terrible, not amazing, but his special ability is obviously the thing that is most important. So with regular Caesar, he'll max at 15 turns, and when you limit break him, he gets an additional cooldown reduction. And what it does 45 times his attack in non-type damage to all enemies, which is pretty substantial considering his attack power is actually not bad. It also will go ahead and boost the slot effects of cerebral and driven characters by 1.75 for 2 turns, and he poisons all enemies. So he does 3 really nice things: AoE damage, orb boost for 2 turns, and poisoning. So that means that poison will actually go ahead and go through things like resilience buff, which is very, very important, because there aren't that many characters right now on global that will enable you to get around the resilience buff. There are only like 1 or 2, if that. So the fact that you have a unit like this is actually really useful, and you can throw him on 2 separate teams, being cerebral or driven teams, and we know how good cerebrals are getting right now, so this unit just adds to that. In terms of his sailor ability, he gets a simple 150 attack to cerebral and driven. That's fine. And he also gets 2 potential abilities when you limit break him. The first one being a critical hit with a 30% chance of dealing 9% extra damage. So 9% extra damage is actually a lot. That's pretty substantial for a critical hit. You only have a 30% chance of that landing though, so that's not amazing. And the second one is a side damage reduction up to 5%, which is pretty standard. So that's been the entire breakthrough and rundown and the specific team that I used in order to farm this Clash Caesar. So the big takeaways from this is to make sure to go ahead and at least get a copy, because he's going to be a point booster in the upcoming treasure map, and also to go ahead and bring an actual special bind reducer by 3 turns when you are actually going up against this. It helps significantly. Someone like Time Skip Nami, you know, there are a bunch of different special bind removers. The one that I used in this video is just an example of that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.